wish you could swim like the dolphins, like dolphins can swim. Nothing will keep us together. Oh, we can be there forever and ever. Oh, we can be heroes just for one day. I will be king. And you will be queen. Though nothing will drive that away. Oh, we can be heroes just for one day. Oh, we can be ours just for one day. The guns shot above our heads, and the keys, so nothing could fall, and the shame was on the outside. Oh, we can be good ever and ever. That we could be heroes just for one day. We can be heroes. We can be heroes. We can be heroes just for one day. We can be heroes.
I think you can sit down. Dear President of USI, Professor Martinoli, dear EMScom 16 participants, soon to be graduates, dear partners and families, EMScom 17 class, faculty, alumni, and partners, welcome to Lugano and to the graduation ceremony of the EMScom 16 class. Before we start, I would like to thank Angelo Albani and Matteo Giudici from Jardin Musical for their music entertainment today. And before we continue and I leave the stage to our president, I would like to address you, the graduates, personally. I am shy, as most of you, probably those sitting in the first two rows, know by now. So you can imagine how much of a challenge it is for me to be up here now. I started preparing 6 months ago, and believe me, I'm not kidding. But every time I would open a new document, the thought of writing and especially giving a speech filled me with such panic that it would immediately overcome any hint of creativity. So I turned to the best friend of the desperate, Google. And I Googled, welcome speech for shy people. The results were very interesting, to say the least, and I will just name a few. A comprehensive handbook of techniques for successful stress management, which is free on Google Books in case anyone is interested. 50 ways to start a conversation at the first date. How to mingle and talk to strangers at parties. Dating for Introverts by Dr. Nerdlove. And last but not least, 150 best Tinder pickup lines for shy people. So apparently, and maybe not surprisingly, shy people use online dating websites a lot, and none of them deliver speeches at graduation ceremonies. So I just decided to relax, take a deep breath, take it easy, and just say the truth. The truth is that I have spent 2 very enjoyable, interesting, and funny years with you, and I will keep very fond memories of you all. You spent 73 days here at USI, SMU, and UCLA, and for most of that time, I had the privilege to be there with you. You invested 480 hours on pre-readings and preparation in the evenings and over the weekends, and I'm sure you can all confirm that, right? And I was the one loading you with all this work. You took over 19 tests in the mornings on Saturdays and Sundays, when others were obviously still asleep. And I was awake with you, making sure that you would be fine. So thank you. Thank you for the interesting and inspiring conversations, for the laughter, for the Engadiner Nusstorte, and the Gorgonzola cheese. In 2 years, you have definitely enriched my spirit, and not only. Thank you. And I'm now pleased to invite on stage Professor Martinoli, President of USI, for his institutional address.
Well, I enjoyed your body language before when you were following. So you apparently have learned how to communicate now with the body language. So dear EMScom participant, dear EMScom community and alumni, dear representative of Burson-Marsteller and of the Swiss Public Relations Institute, distinguished guests, parents and families, ladies and gentlemen, here in the room and around the world following our online streaming. Okay. Well, here you are, almost graduate. In a few moments, I will hand out your diplomas, certifying that you have successfully obtained an Executive Master of Science in Communication Management. Another great honor and accomplishment in your life. I know that you are eager to receive your diplomas, but let me steal a couple of minutes to underline the importance of this moment and the significance of the goal you are about to reach. Today's celebration is the culmination, as Ilaria said, of 21 months of hard work. During the last years, I observed firsthand 3 of my collaborators who have completed the program in previous classes and saw them spending Saturday and Sunday in front of their computer writing tests or working late hours in the office for a conference call or being under pressure to meet deadlines for their consulting projects. I imagine all of you having done the same when you went back to your home countries after the EMScom's weeks. Dedicating your time, efforts, and passion to the EMScom program while concurrently maintaining and growing in your professional careers, and at the same time trying to find the time to cultivate your personal life. Juggling these seemingly competing interests and making them matching certainly requires commitment and sacrifice. My deepest congratulations to all of you for this accomplishment. During the last 21 months, you have learned to see beyond the standards view of integrated communications to encompass the organization's many stakeholders and publics. You are now ready to take responsibility for the identity, image, and communication strategy of your organization, and most importantly, to contribute to its corporate strategy and growth. Although I am not an expert in the field of communication, I am not a manager, I am a sort of leader, if you want. And I am a physicist, so I am light years far away from what you did. However, I recognize that the EMScom approach is something familiar to me. I believe it is a solid, intelligent, and useful way to deal with reality. What I like about this program is the substantial attention to the analysis of the communication process, which conceives communication as a result of a rigorous empirical investigation with respect to the subject and the reference context. By doing this, communication can't be considered as a light discipline anymore, or else the land of creative people with their heads in the clouds somewhere. In fact, communication applied at strategic levels act as a radar for every organization and contribute in a tangible way to setting goals and achieving them. Thanks to this approach, EMScom is one of our university's success stories, and today you are officially becoming part of it. In 16 years, the EMScom community grew steadily over countries and continents. As for the rest of our university, these trends represent a positive and encouraging sign of quality, stimulating the exchange of ideas and allowing the progress of our Swiss society. It is with deep regret that today, due to the absurdity of our bureaucracy, part of our family could not join us. I send a big hug to those who have been forced to follow this ceremony via streaming, and I promise you, we will never stop working for an open Switzerland and an open society. Thank you. Moving on to a happier subject. Before closing, allow me to thank first Matthias Graf from Burson-Marsteller, Switzerland, for the General Award for Merit and Consulting Excellence by selecting the Best Diplomas Project, and to Peter Hiberard from the Swiss Public Relations Institute for the award to the participant with the best overall average degree. Additionally, our appreciation goes out to our clients who accepted our pitches for consultancy and allowed our participants to apply their learning in a challenging and dynamic environment, diversifying and deepening the participants' professional experience. Further, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to the academic director, Francesco Lurati, the head of the operation, Ilaria Won. Ilaria, thank you really very much for your engagement. The head of the operation, as I said, Ilaria, for the smart work and the tremendous energies they spent to push EMScom to an always higher and higher level of excellence. Finally, I would also like to acknowledge a sacrifice in various forms made by the families of the communication professionals we are celebrating today. You definitely deserve the applause of the graduate. Do it. So, dear graduates, I personally wish you all the best for your future career. Enjoy your work, but enjoy your family and friends as well. I am confident that you have what it takes to succeed: the experience, the knowledge, the tools, and the perspective. Congratulations to all of you and good luck. May you continue to succeed and find satisfaction in everything you will do in the future. Thank you.
So today is a day of strong emotions. Unfortunately, there are two extremes. There is the wonderful emotions about you graduating, and there is the horrible emotions about what has just happened in Paris. Very difficult to reconcile, but here we are to celebrate you. I often start my short address by saying that it is never easy to let a class go. This is particularly true with your class. I do not fear to come across too sentimental or touchy when I say that. Following Ilaria, every minute spent with you has been of great pleasure. Beautiful clarity, resistant to scratching, and fascinating colors. This is what your class is about. Clarity. You have come together from the very first day as a class, as a group, and not as a collection of individuals who happen to share the same program. You have been EMScom 16 since day number 1. Resistant to scratches. A program like EMScom, as we all know, can be rough. You have graciously gone through it with a big smile, still stamped on your faces right now, unwilling to focus on adversities. There have been many, only interested on what made you shine. Finally, colorful. Each of you has brought distinctive elements to the class and made the class shine with intense color. It's been very fascinating to watching you evolve during these 21 months. By the way, clarity, resistant to scratches, and colors are physical characteristics of jewels, the EMScom 16 jewel. Today, we are letting you go back to the open sea. You will enjoy the fact that you are an EMScomer. This will not only bring respect from your peers, career advancement. A recent statistic we just produced shows that 41.3% of professionals with executive masters are CCOs or agency CEOs, at least in Switzerland. Also financial rewards. Always the same statistics that we will publish on Monday with the PR, with our observatory. It's a collaboration with the PR Swiss, the Harbor Club, and the BPRA and SPRI. Financial rewards, I was saying, 25% more than average salary. This is what an executive program in average brings, okay? Of course, we hope that you're going to be on the skewed side of the curve, on the positive side. I was saying not only respect, seniority, and financial rewards, but most importantly, responsibility. The role that communication has acquired, and I'm joining here the president, that it has acquired today inside and outside organizations, place you at the heart of social construction and social changes. If in the past helping organizations build their own images that did not correspond to reality was ethically unacceptable, today such an approach becomes a liability for organizations. And we all know too well by observing what's going on in recent events in the corporate world and what this means. And we have seen beyond all these scandals often, we have seen communication departments that have failed to do what they were supposed to do. Help organizations change in order to protect their long-term reputations. You do not protect reputation by covering up or telling stories. You help reputation by helping companies do the right things. Communication today is about leading change, not cheerleading. We hope that these 21 months at EMScom have helped you become this breed of genuine transformational leaders. Being back to the big open sea does not mean not staying in touch with EMScom, though. We hope you will keep being our best ambassadors. Today, more than ever, the program needs good and active ambassadors. As you all know, high-quality executive education is threatened, it's under pressure, decreasing corporate support and decreasing willingness to engage, as you did, in demanding programs, reward shorter programs, lighter programs, even online programs. We all need to fight against this, what I like to call McDonaldization of executive education. In this regard, your role as EMScom graduate is crucial. We count on you. You will also stay in touch with EMScom through the Alumni Association. We have the president here, Lucas, who will address shortly the audience here. This year, the association has been taken over by a brilliant and dynamic new board. Nicola is one of the members of the board, which is intensively working to make the association progress and make it more relevant to all of us. We all look forward to seeing you become active members of the EMScom alumni community. Time to conclude. I would like to congratulate you all and tell you that it has been a great honor to walk by you during this long journey. Congratulations and thank you. It is now my great pleasure and honor to introduce this year's commencement speaker, Vincent Lusser. Vincent is EMScom 2, is a pioneer. And when he joined EMScom a long time ago, he was with ICRC. He joined the program with other ICRC fellows who for several years were at EMScom. That was a transformational phase of ICRC, and the head of communication at that time decided to invest in its best people, communication people, and have them attend this program. Very soon, when he was at EMScom, he left for Russia, where he started working, providing strategic counseling to the different delegations working in that area. He very quickly became head of regional communication support for Central and Eastern Europe and Central Asia, operating out from Moscow. He then became, after a couple of years, media relation officer for Asia and the Pacific area. And when he came back to Geneva, he was appointed as head of internal communication until 2011, when he moved out from ICRC and joined the cantonal administration of Geneva. He joined the Department of Town and Country Planning, Housing and Energy at the State of Geneva as Deputy Secretary General for the promotion of urban projects. His task is extremely interesting. I spent hours discussing with Vincent about that. He's basically in charge of developing communications that favor better understanding and dialogue with public and civil society. We spend hours saying, you know, understanding is the most reasonable and probably the only reasonable objective, communication objective that you can set. So this is what it does, understanding, dialogue, right, to build a better town, a better canton. So please join me in welcoming this year's commencement speaker, Vincent Roussel.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, dear EMScom graduates, congratulations. As of today, as of this very hour, you are each of you Masters of Science in Communication Management, which means accomplished specialists and experts, Masters of Science, meaning people with the knowledge and skills to teach others your art. Specialists you are indeed, not only in communication and public relation, but in a long list of sub-areas such as reputation management, digital communication, internal communication, crisis management, storytelling, brand and relationship management, not to mention the art of selecting the best Merlot del Ticino in your favorite grotto. Specialists, experts. To me, these two terms encapsulate one of the fundamental changes that have swept through our world in the last quarter of a century. Indeed, I'm old enough to remember a world where, apart from lawyers, doctors, and engineers, most people working around me were generalists. These generalists would feel no need to cement their professional evolution through a master's degree when they started specializing in one particular field. So working for the Red Cross in Afghanistan in 1990, we generalist delegates would travel on dusty roads to visit the prison and the hospital, meet the local authorities, distribute Red Cross messages to families separated by armed conflict, register amputees who needed a prosthesis, and evacuate injured mujahideen on a stretcher in the back of our white Land Cruisers, all in one trip. At this time, the communicators were mostly journalists who had crossed the door to institutional communications and who were held in tight control by management with a strategy of low profile and no comment. But this humanitarian approach soon changed profoundly. New colleagues arrived by the day: water and sanitation engineers, nutritionists, microeconomic project advisors, experts in agronomy, purchasers, and communicators, of course, each traveling this time to the same village on a separate day. Indeed, in recent days, looking up the ICSC's website, I saw job vacancies for a regional support supply chain team leader, a forensic advisor, a medical logistician, a vehicle fleet manager, and a weapon contamination delegate. This shift to specialists inside organizations reflects the enormous efforts around us to do a better job and to provide more professional services in each field of activity. It reflects a world that is going through unprecedented and almost real-time technological, scientific, and economic change. Moreover, our society's ambitions have grown and become more complex and interlinked. This is clearly reflected in the growth of the legal and normative framework at the global level, the regional, the national, and the cantonal level. So the trend towards specialization is not limited to businesses and NGOs. Highly specialized academics have joined the ranks of public administrations, parliaments, and civil society. Looking at my current job at the Department of Town and Country Planning of the Canton of Geneva, I see the same things at work. Our cantonal government has set objectives for 17 policy areas, and my department's work directly or indirectly touches on half a dozen of them. This means that in my current job, I work with professionals in the areas of town planning, housing, energy, heritage conservation, transports, architecture, environmental issues, agriculture, public spaces, the safety of building sites, geographical data management, and industrial planning. So if you apply today for a permit for your building's construction, if you want new headquarters, it's likely that many of these specialists and experts will be involved in reviewing your project and issuing their own specific recommendations for or against it. So the risk is that highly specialized experts who have to apply highly specialized legal and professional standards may each stick to their own ideal solutions, pushing the inevitable pragmatic choices up the ladder and up to the political minister's level. So fostering teamwork and cross-disciplinary collaboration to be able to make pragmatic choices, choices for planet Earth, is therefore a key objective of our management and my own for internal communication. Last but not least, when looking at our target publics, when taking a look at society in general, we may also find the same trend toward fragmentation. Myriads of civil society actors and lobbies each promote very specific issues, such as cars, birds, single-family homes, or rare species of plants. Such trends are reinforced by social media, and the many experts who prolong their lifelong professional passion as social activists once they are comfortably retired and uncomfortably for us connected. So in short, it seems to me that there are three wheels of specialization that are turning at the same time. Firstly, a complex and globalized environment marked by change, scientific progress, and higher ambitions in all fields. Secondly, more specialized expertise inside businesses, non-profit organizations, and public entities who each push the wheel toward further specialization. And thirdly, a more fragmented society with widely differing priorities and outlooks organized in a constellation of specialized lobbies and civil society organizations. So, what does this mean for our role in communications? Looking at my own experience, I can see three main takeaways. Firstly, we should cherish more than ever Grunig and Moss's definition of public relations as creating and maintaining mutually beneficial relations between an organization and its publics. Whatever our own field of expertise, we must remain broad-viewed, broad-minded, and generous ambassadors, focused on endlessly connecting in a world that tends to disconnect and subdivide everything. And I think this role is even more important as marketing departments acquire frightening tools to analyze, isolate, and target millions of individuals. Secondly, our ambassador role must increasingly be played inside our organizations as much as between our organization and external stakeholders. Internal communication must strive towards creating broad and transversal understanding and collaboration. It must act as an essential counterweight to the proliferation of silos. It's not a question of acquiring new technical collaboration tools. Above all, we must be our CEO's best ally to favor the bigger picture as a core value of organizational culture. Thirdly, we must not ourselves yield to the temptation to hyper-specialize to the point where we become a communication silo inside our organizations. I'm quite aware of the fact that what we expect our colleagues to do, from intranets to collaborative tools to social media and public appearances, often already exceeds their capacity to follow our tracks. So, dear graduates, please don't laugh if, to conclude this speech, at the very hour you have been confirmed as specialists and experts, I ask you to rapidly become generalists again. Indeed, I believe that in our capacity to combine both highly specific skills and generalist common sense, in this dual capacity lies our core added value to our organizations. This, to me, is the true meaning of being a master, not an expert only, but a master of science in communication management. Thank you very much.
Good. Now we're ready for the official diploma, and you will turn from participants to graduates. So I would like to invite the president here, and Ilaria will call you. Come out, we'll shake hands, And then don't go back to your seat, but stay on your right side over there, okay?
Roberta Buzio. Marian Duran. René Felder, he cannot be here with us tonight, but I think he deserves an applause. Caroline Hoyer. Tommy Jakobsen. Shazad Khalid. Martin Luginbühl. Patrizia Luisi. Dunja Mesic. Jörg Holzer. Daniel Schaltegger. Nicola Strazzari. And Sibyl Zumstein.
Okay, now the official declarations from the president. You have to first regain your seats. The picture session will take place later on. Okay, so, and stand up, because we're not done.
sit and wait. There doesn't angel to contemplate my fate. And do they know the places where we go while we're gray and old? 'Cause I have been told that salvation let the wings unfold. So when I'm lying in my bed, the thoughts running through my head, and I feel the love is dead, I'm loving angels instead. I'm doing she offers me protection, and I love and affection. Whether I'm right or wrong, and I'm the one wherever it may be. I know life will break me, and when I come to call, she won't forsake me. I'm loving angels instead. When I feel away and my pain lies down a one-way street, I look around and I know our love is witnessed with love. It's everything that shows, runs flesh to my bones, and when love is dead, I'm loving angels instead. Through it all, she offers me protection, a lot of love and affection, and whether I'm right or wrong, and I'm the one, wherever it may take me. I know that life will break me, and when I come to call, she won't
Thank you. So, how does it feel to have these damn tassels on the left side, finally? I would like to also thank you, Vincent, for his wonderful speech and also for the coup de théâtre at the end of your address. There is some good topics for our next coffee at the Piazza Riforma. Now it's time to invite on stage Gianluca Carnabucci. I heard your favorite professor, so you wanted him to be here, and so here he is, Gianluca.
So, that's a nice way to introduce me. It's been the nicest so far, let me say. And let me reciprocate. So let me start by saying that you guys look awesome. You do. With that thing on, you're a lot more credible than when you were in class with your T-shirt and stuff. So I think you guys have achieved something quite exceptional. I'm not the first one to speak today, so I'll try to be very brief. But I have been asked to represent the faculty who have had the honor to be in class with you and work with you. So I'll try my very best. This isn't the first time that I teach the course I have taught to you guys, and I have been developing a little bit of an experience with classes. And what I generally observe when I teach students your age, when I teach the subject that I generally teach them, is people develop group dynamics that are conducive to learning. But what I have seen with you guys is something different. We spent together maybe a couple of days and a half or something like that, probably not more than that. And what I have observed is a bunch of extremely talented individuals who really created a group. I could see that in the breaks, not during classes only, primarily during the breaks. It's been a joy to see you guys help each other out. It's been a joy to see you guys having respect for one another. And so me as a teacher, one of the things that I always try to do is I try to make sure that the large salary I get at the end of every month is not just a reflection of what I do when I do my research. I would be hypocritical if I wouldn't say that. We people who live in the ivory tower of university have the responsibility of making an impact on this planet. I think Vincent said it clearly, is there anything relevant in what you do, practical, that has an impact on planet Earth? This is a question I ask myself almost on a daily basis. As an academic, I oftentimes get distracted by all kinds of things, but this question is always behind the back, and I always think about it. So one of the reasons that I thought teaching and working with you guys has been a joy for me is that I can see it, I can touch it. You guys are changing things. I can see it and can touch that you guys are out there in the world right now. You're young, you have brains, you have an enormous amount of energy, and all I would like to ask you to do from this point onwards is get in the game. Because the world is yours, and we're all waiting for you to make it a better place. We've done our best on our side. It's all yours now. So please, we're waiting for you guys to get in the game, do so with all of your energy and passion and ethics, and the world will become a better world. So thank you very much. It's been a great pleasure and honor.
Okay. Burson-Marsteller Award. It's time for awards. The first one, Burson-Marsteller Award for Consulting Excellence. And this year is, every year, the best consulting project is rewarded with the Burson-Marsteller Award for Consulting Excellence. This is an award, a landmark of a great collaboration between Burson-Marsteller and USI, a collaboration that we started from the very beginning of the program, a long time ago. We both share, Burson-Marsteller and EMScom, both share a common understanding of communication management, a discipline that contributes to shape businesses. So this is why Burson-Marsteller in the first place decided to join EMScom and support EMScom and acknowledge every year the best consulting project, because we share this understanding of what communication can do and should do in organizations. This year, we have had 4 exciting consulting projects. First, I'll start alphabetical order, Givaudan. So I would like to ask, who is speaking for Givaudan? Just 2 sentences, what the project was about. I haven't attributed to somebody. Please. Yes. Yeah, probably it's better with the microphone. Let's do that. Oh, here you are.
Okay, perfect. And the project about Givaudan was about social media strategy. It was more about to see if it was good for Givaudan or not, to start to think about social media for the company. It was a bit challenging because it was they were not sure that was good for them, but at the end, through the project, they understood that was very, very good, that to adopt the social media channels. So I think that was a big part of the challenge. They adopted, they thought it's good for them, and they believe now it's a good strategy for communications.
Excellent, thank you. Swiss Re.
Thank you. So I'll stay here.
Or you want to come here?
Sorry.
Thank you.
This is a little bit of improvisation.
Yes, we did a project for Swiss Re, and we were blessed in our group to have Donia Mesic among us because she is working for Swiss Re. So I think what you can say is that the cooperation with Swiss Re and the integration between the project and the company was a great pleasure for all of us. And we came up with a digital communication strategy. What we realized was that one thing is to develop a strategy, another thing is to implement the strategy, and I think I can say that most of us are very happy that we're not part of the company now and has to implement it. So best of luck, Donia.
Thank you. These are all private jokes, huh? So, Unilever, Carol?
Thank you very much. Thank you, group. Thank you also to my employee, Unilever, who has given us the opportunity to work on this project. Unilever is a company that sells consumer goods products globally, and 2 billion people every day use Unilever products. And the strategy of Unilever as a listed company is first and foremost to make profit, but it also has a huge sustainability agenda. And our project was about enabling the company to use employees as ambassadors and to have a program with external opinion makers, opinion formers, to help the company to achieve this vision and this strategy. So, yeah, thank you.
Okay, so the award will be presented by the CEO of Burson-Marsteller Switzerland, Matthias Graf. Matthias, he's an EMScom 10. However, EMScom collaboration with Burson-Marsteller started way before, right? So there is no mafia here, right? So please welcome Matthias.
Thank you, Francesca. Peter Eberhard reminded me that I should not go over like every year. However, and I have been cutting down my speech dramatically. I'm going to do a 6-hour train ride today, 3 hours ahead already, 3 hours back, to be here. So allow me for the probably 6 minutes I will do here. Congratulations, fellow EMScom alumni. I've been sitting where you sit now a couple of years ago, and I know how it feels. I know through how much sweat and tears you've gone to achieve this, so I truly mean this from the bottom of my heart. Congratulations. When we were talking together a couple of months ago, when I had the pleasure to do the guest lecture afternoon about consulting, we touched on a couple of topics that, of course, now you've been or have been bringing alive in your consulting projects, and therefore, of course, it's an honor for me to be here now. Francesca already mentioned why Burson-Marsteller is now for almost a decade donating this award. It is mainly also because EMScom, we really believe, and as an alumni, I can say this, is one of the best available programs of this kind, because it equips us with academic knowledge combined with real-life project experience. And this is, of course, what brings our profession forward, and this is, of course, also why we really think the best consulting project should be awarded. Now, I've been changing my speech a little bit today in the train, because yesterday we have been reminded in a dramatic and shocking way about the power of a misleading belief and an ill-minded perception of reality. And in the absence of the values of humanity, which we ought to deem so dearly and highly, people following the wrong vision, they can show a behavior which is so far from where we think it should be that it is simply beyond words to describe. And we ask ourselves, what drives human beings to commit such unthinkable crimes? And for me, one of the answers is, unfortunately, it's their belief. Unfortunately, it's their perception of reality. And these were created. They were not born with it. We are communication consultants. We help create visions. We define messaging, we transport stories and narratives to target audiences, and through these actions, we create realities for them. We steer perceptions, and we influence behavior. This is our specialty. This is what we do every day. This is what we've learned. And these are very powerful skills, and they come with a big responsibility. Because our analysis, our recommendations we give to our clients, and our actions have probably a much bigger influence than we even might want to see ourselves sometimes. And with the conclusion of your EMScom program, you have been further equipped with knowledge and tools to take this responsible role in the end in organizations of any kind, actually. And it's your decision how you use these and what you create out of it. It's nothing new when I tell you that the role of a communication consultant is changing and is becoming more and more complex. Mark Twain once said, the definition of a consultant is someone who borrows your watch, tells you the time, and then charges you for the privilege. Now, we all think, hopefully, that consultancy has developed since Mark Twain's times. And in our everyday life as consultants, we hopefully see how much value we can add for our clients, be it within an organization or as external advisors. And as this profession undergoes such a tremendous change, we need to understand how we cut through this complexity and how we interact with internal and external stakeholders. That's why it needs communication specialists like yourselves, who know how to deal with this. Always thinking of the influence our actions have on perceptions and behavior. So the value you bring to your clients as consultants is very much related to the understanding and knowledge you gain about their real issues. and the creativity and thoughtfulness you apply in finding the right answers to their questions. This requires a great deal of insight, of honesty, and creativity, because at times you might find yourself in a situation where you need to very much challenge your clients, where you need to tell the truth so you can be true also to yourselves. Now, this is how we try to work at Burson-Marsteller. This is how you have worked during your consulting projects. And for one Capstone consulting project team, it has now led to them being awarded as the best of EMScom 16. The quality, I'm not part of that jury, that's the other part of not being a mafia, that's important to be said. Exactly. The quality of the consulting projects in this class has been very high, I've been told. And so that means they've all met the criteria for an excellent consulting project, which I've mentioned some of. And of course, they've all shown the academic excellence as well. So first of all, congratulations to you all for an outstanding result of your hard work and for the dedication that you have put in this project. Of course, we would like to award all of you, but it's the name of the game that in such award ceremonies, usually there's one winner. And it is obviously also the project which is showing the highest level of excellence. This year's winning project was aimed, I'm starting to give it away a bit, so you might know by the end when I say the winner is, but anyhow. This year's winning project was aimed at an increasingly important aspect of our proficiency, at influencing the perception of the corporate purpose of a large multinational organization. And the winning team did this excellently by analyzing the status and impact of its approach to sustainability, which meant cutting through complexity a lot. Did it by drawing the right and consequent conclusions, which even led to a change in scope of project, which is adding another level of complexity. And by finally recommending a simple and effective approach to achieve the desired results in influencing the client's social and environmental footprint. The winning team has concluded a top consulting project which I would actually have been proud to have seen executed in my own agency. Or to say it in the words of the consulting advisor, all our compliments for having managed the complex challenge brilliantly and having delivered simple and compelling recommendations. Turning complexity into thoughtful simplicity is an art. So it is my great pleasure to now finally announce the winner of the EMScom 16 Burson-Marsteller Award for Consulting Excellence, and the winner is Unilever. Whoa. So, Caroline, Roberta, Daniel, come up on stage, please. I understand that René can't be with us today, so of course, all our congratulations and good wishes go to him as well. And now for the logistics, I need support, please. Because I would like to hand you, that. Here? Good. So, thank you very much. I should have found it. It's rather large. Hang on. And so we need to look. This is PR, right? So we logos here. No worries. Logos here. And I can close enough. I smile. Okay.
Thank you, Matthias. Ilaria? Good. So it's time for the second award, the SPRI Award for the best overall average grade. This is an award with SPRI, the Swiss Public Relations Institute. Since time is passing, memories are disappearing, but I'm a living memory for the time being. And I'll tell you why SPRI Award. SPRI, 17 years ago, knocked at the door of USI. Actually, it was almost 18 years ago. And USI was just born and started. And we had this wonderful faculty of communication. And so SPRI came down to Lugano and said, why you're not starting? Why not starting an executive master degree? There isn't any. In Switzerland, it was just the beginning of what we like to call the academization of communication management education. And so we definitely hesitated 1 second to pick up the challenge and develop this program, which evolved over the years, but we always been close to SPRI as a important partner, sounding board, an opener to the whole professional community in Switzerland and abroad. So I'm very pleased to invite on stage Peter Eberhardt, who is the president of SPRI and also the president of PR Swiss.
Well, what I've just heard, it seems to me that Francesca knows more about SPRI than I do. Okay, and nevertheless, Matthias, I guess my speech will be shorter than yours. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, dear no longer students, as president of SPRI, it is my pleasure to be here with you in Lugano once more, and I congratulate you for your excellent work in successfully completing your Executive Master of Science in Com Management. Okay, Francesco already a bit explained why I'm standing here. There is a long-time relationship between this university and SPRI because we both campaign for high standards in the training and education of communication professionals. If we live in the age of communication, which I guess nobody in this room will deny, the need for qualified professionals like you is greater than ever. This also means that there is a need for guidelines in our profession. So, for example, maybe you don't know, we both, USI and SPRI, are core members of the so-called Swiss Observatory of PR and Corporate Communications, an organization which conducts the only Swiss survey on the practices and challenges in our profession, and therefore also detects the needs for educational development. Or I may draw your attention, as Francesco also did at the beginning, to the very first salary survey of the Swiss PR industry we did in the past weeks, and which will be published next week. So at least for all of those who work in Switzerland, it may be worth to have a look at this survey. It may strengthen your force if you are talk next time with your employer. Then you can see where you stand. There are a lot of figures in this survey. But now I will waste no more time because you gave me just 5 minutes. I come to the point. At SPRI, we are happy to celebrate our joint past with USI by awarding one student with the SPRI award for the highest overall average mark. which this time is at a remarkable level of 9.2. If I am not wrong, I think we have never seen such a high mark before, otherwise you will correct me afterwards. And the person to be awarded in a second, too, seems to be remarkable. Because I found a comment on this person, and this sounds like this, beginning of citation. This person is one of the most consummate and hardworking communication executives I know. This person has a razor-sharp analytical mind, wow, a voracious interest in research, and a fine-tuned ear for compelling communication. Moreover, this person brings an extremely high level of dedication to everything it does. I can't recommend this person highly enough. End of citation. So may I ask this person now to join me here to receive our award? Così dico, congratulazioni a Roberta Buzio.
Now I would like to invite on stage Jörg Polzer, the EMScom 16 class representative and a driving force before the class.
Still have to get used to this here. Many thanks, Ilaria. President Martinoli, Professor Lorati, representative of USI and EMScom, dear families, guests, alumni, fans on YouTube, I guess we are here, right? My dear fellow members of the EMScom 16 class, it's my true honor to stand in front of you today on the occasion of our graduation. First of all, on behalf of the entire class, I'd like to congratulate Roberta for her outstanding personal achievement, as well as the Unilever Group for the incredible result of the Capstone consulting teamwork. This is very well deserved. But this also means the drinks tonight are on you. Any volunteers? It's remarkable to think that our past 20-month years at USI, at the Singapore Management University, at the UCLA Anderson, coming to a close today. And it's incredible how fast the time went, and suddenly we all look like adult versions of Harry Potter. Let's take a moment, sorry for that, to think about this exciting and exceptional roller coaster ride that we have taken together. It has been full of twists and turns and loops and marked by countless obstacles to overcome, whether they were academic, professional, or personal. On the academic side, we handled 18 tests, 2 papers, and 1 monstrous consulting project. We worked through 25 kilos of books and papers. I reweighted at them home. Yeah, it was quite tricky. We spent thousands of hours together and individually on the work for that program. Next to that, we managed our normal lives, our families, our friends, our hobbies, and a lot of work that kept us awake, while being here at night, during the breaks, most of the time, always. And some of us even had to cope with the financial challenge of the rising strength of the Swiss franc, which wasn't easy. I can remember that last year. There were even more serious tasks included in our job here at USI. I mean, we had to avoid massive sunburn from driving fast convertible cars in the US. We also had to avoid becoming wet feet while rescuing our cars from the car park at UCLA. There was a major flood coming down because one of the main water pipelines broke. It was quite entertaining. We had to ensure proper food supply. You know, think back at the time we spent at night at the Lido Seegarten. You know, we couldn't get quick enough carbonara. You know, recharging our carbon hydroxide, our carb batteries. Finding the right cupcake in the right cupcake ATM in Beverly Hills, also quite a challenge. And in case of Nicola, who really had to be very creative in providing diversified and excellent catering to his roommate Shazad. While Shazad, he had to cope with the dishes afterwards, and I understand it was the first time in his life. So, you were quite a nice couple, like elderly people. And of course, we then had to fight the unnecessary gained calories by practicing quite a broad range of sports. You know, we played football, we were basketball, we went swimming, ice skating. Dunja, you may or may not remember this. Surfing, yes, kayaking, biking, running, some did yoga, and even hardcore shopping. So I would call that the EMScom 16 decathlon, and I hope it's going to be an Olympic discipline one day. I also don't want to miss out on the challenges that weren't managed that good, and I just want to come briefly back to the fact that, you know, it wasn't possible to bring Shazad's family to Switzerland for today's graduation, despite the best efforts, month-long efforts undertaken by himself and the university. And I mean, I don't want to add too much to that. What I would like to do is to say to Shazad, our friendship with you and your family is much stronger than any unjust ruling that could have been taken by the Swiss authorities. And we will find another opportunity to celebrate our joint achievement at a more welcoming place. And I also would like to greet your wife and your family. I hope at least the internet connection works in Pakistan. So we think of you. Where is it? Up there. Okay. So, but let's stop the frustration for today. I mean, for us, it's really, for all of us, a fantastic achievement to have made it here today. But we have not made it here on our own efforts alone. And on behalf of the EMScom 16 class, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge those who have gotten to us where we are today. And first and foremost, these are our families who are here today to support us as they always have. You have shared the journey with us all the way from application to graduation. You have been there in good and challenging times. Quite often it was a complete stretch, we are well aware of that. And we are truly, truly grateful for everything that you have done for us and are delighted that you are here to share this occasion. So, thank you very much. Our professors, they made us more complete communication managers by providing very interactive and immediately rewarding sessions packed with great content and always very much related to practice, which was very helpful. The faculty has significantly contributed to our success, and we are glad to share the celebration at least with some of you. So thank you. I shall also very much acknowledge the EMScom administration that has been vital to our success as well. Francesco, our academic director, and our program manager, Ilaria, where are you? And her team, Barbara. I see Sarah. Hey, Sarah. Thank you. Without you, we wouldn't be here today either. And last but not least, and although not present today, maybe on the screen, we are also grateful to our respective teams and colleagues at work who provided much needed support during the time of our absence being here. Through their efforts, with the support of each other, we have survived the past 21 months, but more than just survived. We grew personally, professionally, and academically here at EMScom. And it was more than just completing our studies. I believe it's fair to say that the EMScom 16 was a life-changing experience for all of us in many ways. We have also grown close in a vast amount of time we spent together, from relaxing over a slice of pizza or a salad at the sunny balcony in the breaks, which I always enjoyed very much, to the less relaxing group work sessions, behind closed door, no sun allowed, to one time we learned how to mix and drink as many Campari cocktails in 1 hour, to the time where we learned how to escape from low-flying beer cups at the sold-out ice hockey games here at the HC Lugano, to the many occasions we jumped on the bus to broaden our horizon at the Walt Disney Studios or the Getty in LA, the Gardens by the Bay in Singapore, and not to forget the Grotti and the Merlots, you already mentioned that, of the Lugano area. By just looking around this assembly, we can pick out the faces of those friends who have been with us through the best and the worst, the people without whom most of us probably would have lost our minds by now, and the people who will be our lifelong friends, thanks to our shared experience at EMScom 16. Nelson Mandela once said, "A good head and a good heart are always a formidable combination." And I think that the EMScom 16 class was a perfect example for such a combination. So let me close this address with another quote, one by the great Woody Allen, which is at the same time very wise, but also very much related to practice and therefore highly relevant for most of our fellow graduates. He said, "It is clear that the future holds great opportunities. It also holds pitfalls. The trick is to avoid the pitfalls and seize the opportunities and get back home by 6 o'clock." Of course, this doesn't apply for tonight. So thank you very much, and let's celebrate.
Okay, so now I would like to invite Lukas Widmer, EMScom 13 alumnus and co-president of the EMScom Alumni Association.
When Einstein died, he left a note at the blackboard. It read, "Not everything that can be counted counts, and not everything that counts can be counted." Congratulations, you've made it. Today you got your degree. Some of you even won an award. You got a lot of grades these past 2 years. Things you can count. You could for sure count the hours of effort you put into your Capstone consulting projects, the hours you have spent in exams, traveling to and from Lugano and around the world. Maybe the cups of coffee you needed to keep you going. But this is not what counts in the end. What really counts are the people you have met, the friends you have made, the network that you have established. You can't count this. But this network can prove invaluable if you come across a challenge or a question in the future. You may know your fellow classmates very well. You may also know some people in the classes above and below you. But did you know that you now belong to a growing network of around 400 communication professionals who once sat at the very same place you are sitting today? There is an organization that cultivates this network, the EMScom Alumni Association. A new board has been elected beginning of this year, and we are full of ideas and plans where to take the organization. This ranges from very local events that allow for personal exchange to events that will be broadcasted so that you can benefit wherever in the world you are. We are working on ideas on how we could share our knowledge with communities, startups, and NPOs, and at the same time get inspiration for our daily work. And of course, we are very open for your suggestions. On top of that, we'll keep close to Lugano, to the program and its resources. I could go on here, but I'm the one standing between the ceremony and the apéro. I therefore suggest that you check us out on the EMScom Alumni tab on the EMScom website. We would be very pleased to welcome you as a member to support this great network. On behalf of my fellow board members, I would again like to congratulate you on this achievement. Enjoy the leisure time that you have now won back, celebrate, and join the Alumni Association. What counts are the people. Thank you.
So we're almost done with the ceremony, and I'm sure you all want to go and have a toast, a glass of wine, but Lucas was not the last one standing between you and the apero. We have a little surprise. There is someone here who would also like to address you personally, and someone thought was from IBM, but actually was not. It's from Pakistan. So Shahzad, please.
This is awkward. I'm standing between the apron. But yeah, I thought about like 50 slides on IBM and how IBM is changing the world. But I guess you're not in the mood. So I'll just take 4 or 5 minutes for a little thank you. This means a lot to me. I was just telling Martin that 11 trips from Pakistan in 20 months was crazy. I never thought about doing it. But it's you guys who made me do this, and I'm super excited being here. Too bad my family is not here, but this is my family, so I'm glad I'm here, and thank you so much for the online streaming. So I have my entire family sitting and watching me right now. Just a few words of thanks for some special people. The Italian stallion, who redefined pasta and made me wash a lot of dishes, thank you so much. The creative Mexican bomb, who made me realize how bad I am with creative PowerPoint slides. The super fit Swiss time check, who introduced me to a lot of important Swiss values, especially being on time. I realized that 8 o'clock means 8 o'clock. If I'm 8:05, not acceptable, and I actually got really worried after the first 2 slides. So thanks for fixing me up. My wife is very much happy after all of this. York, thank you so much for branding me with in-front sports, and for all the craziest tips. I've been traveling a lot. I've seen a lot of Europe during this time. Thank you so very much. Patrizia, thank you so much for the cheat sheets. As I say, the notes were brilliant. I got some really good grades out of it. Daniel, for the ski lessons. For the first time I did ice skating and ski. That was super, super crazy for me. Thank you so much for the tips and fixing me up on that. Dunya, and your husband, I would like to welcome you to Pakistan, so I can offer you dal chana and dal chawal, because her husband loves Pakistani food. Thank you so much for the crazy time. Caro, Tommy, Caro, thank you so much for all the help. And Tommy, I'm so sorry about not knowing much about Lego. It was a shocking phase on her, when I told him that I know nothing about Lego, and it was a bad experience. It's been great. Martin, thank you so much. All of you guys are my family. I don't have words saying away. I'm kind of confused as well, talking in front of you. But it's been lovely. I don't know if I'll be coming back to Europe anytime soon. But yeah, the mini celebration is happening in Lahore, Pakistan. So my family couldn't be here. I told you guys about that. I would love to welcome you all over there. At the end, I would just like to say something that York said when we were standing in Marina Bay in Singapore. And when I had my first something, and I would not talk about it, because it's online streaming, so my family and my mom would know. But I had a lot of information come from there. He said something that I feel blessed, and yes, blessed we are. I actually realize, and I would like all of you to feel that we are blessed. Not a lot of people in the world get a chance to do all of what we've done. And it's a blessing to be doing all that, and it's actually a blessing to have you guys in my life. Thank you so much. Love you all.
it's over. So I would like to invite all the guests here to join us for a toast in the Executive Center. And I would like also to ask the graduates to stay here because we're going to take a picture with you throwing the hats in the air. And we need an empty room to do that. So the guests can have a first glass while you take the picture. And for those of you coming, as of 7:30 at Lido Seegarten, we continue the celebration. Thank you.
Time grabs your batteries, runs you out to go. So make the best of these days, don't ask why. It's not a question, not a lesson learning time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you have the time of your life. So take the photographs still floating in mind, hanging on the shelf in good health and time. Touches of memories and let's get on a trail. For what it's worth, it's from all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end that's right. I hope you have that time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life.
Take the picture. You take a common picture. Not necessary. Yes. Okay. Now, 1, 2. One, two. Normal one. First the normal one. Okay. Look at me. 1, 2. Okay. Ilaria, you are inside. Ilaria, you are inside. Thank you. Another one. Okay. And now? And now? Do we launch it really high? Really high? So, yes. 3,